today we are doing yet again not another random desktop review, but a planned review. So, as you can see, this is not a transformer, but rather is the Dicelings, or one of the Dicelings. This is the Rakor, the Black Dragon one. I haven't played a single thing of D&D, so I could not tell you any of the actual names or dungeons or anything like that. Me and my girlfriend have been wanting to play, but we've just never had the time or the group of friends to do so. So, as you can see, getting a little close here, we have some pretty nice detailing going all the way around. They are numbered, so you could actually use this as a D20. However, from what I've heard, due to the hinges and the way they're built, it's not the best substitute for a D20. You're better off just going and buying an actual D20 dice. But not much else to say. A little bit of green paint right there. That's about the only thing that's painted on here. Would have wished the numbers would have been painted just so they stood out a little more. As is right now, they're kind of hard to read. But with all that being said, let's get down to some quick size comparisons. Set him there. Here he is next to Voyager class Hunt for the Decepticons Sea Spray. As you can see, he is a not very large guy, which for a dice he's really large, but for a transformable figure, yeah, not that large. Get him out of the way, and let's get him compared to something a little more comparable. This is Cybertron Brush Guard. So as you can see, he's pretty comparable to a former Scout class figure. This would probably be considered Deluxe class now, but as you can see, they are pretty close to the same size. And yeah, so get him out of the way. Without further ado, let's get down to transformation. For transformation, there's one thing that you really want to do first, and that's unfurl the wings. So what you're going to look for, because there is a number on one of them, so you're going to look for the number 5 side, and you're going to get a nail in there and just pull out, and that should unfurl one wing. And then you look for the same panel on the other side, which is the number 11, and just pull it out, and that gets you started. Now you can go ahead and just unfurl all of these panels on both sides, and it's pretty simple from here. You take this piece here and just unfold it all the way out. Take this little hinged section here to finish off the tail, and then it's just a matter of unfurling the legs and the arms. Now take the legs, unfurl them, pull the head out, arms out, rotate the front paws 180 degrees. And then you're going to take the torso and rotate it. It splits in half between the back legs and the front legs here. Rotate it 180 degrees. Bring the legs back down, and then rotate the back paws 180 degrees around, and get everything adjusted as far as angles and where everything's supposed to be. And there you have the Rakor in Dragon Mode. In Dragon Mode, this guy is actually really well detailed, especially for the size that he comes in at. Of course you have all of the detail from the dice, but then you have all this molded detail on the inside of the wing. You have all this molded detail and painted detail here on the neck, spikes on the tail, and scales all over the tail. The head is actually really well detailed, even having painted eyes, and the horns. The horns are made of soft plastic, which I don't necessarily know why. I understand the very tips of them being soft plastic, because then they're less prone to breaking, but I don't know. These just don't stick out far enough to where I'm truly worried about them breaking. But it's Hasbro. They're going to do whatever they think is necessary. So As far as articulation goes, we have a few points. We have an opening jaw, a very wide opening jaw, a I think is a ball joint at the shoulder, a hinge at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, and then the exact same thing on the back legs, ball joint at the thigh, and then a double jointed knee here, two hinges, and then ball joint at the ankles. Tail can go up and down here, up and down here, and rotation, and that's pretty much how the rest of these joints work. They're on a hinge and a swivel. And then finally, just a little hinge at the back. The wings have all these hinges that you can use to adjust, and they are on swivel joints here. And then the final point of articulation that I was able to find, or final 2 points, you can go up and down at the head, and you have rotation, and ball joint at the neck here, the very end of the neck where the head connects. So very well articulated for the size of figure and considering what it turns into. I mean, this is a very geometric shape turning into what is supposed to be a very organic creature. And it actually pulls it off very well. So we'll get him adjusted here. And then we will get down to those size comparisons. So first size comparison is, of course, brush guard again. And as you can see, he's got quite some length on him, and he's kind of, he's longer than Brushguard is tall. He's definitely not as tall, but that's just because of how the profile of a dragon looks in most cases. So, as you can see, still comparable to a Scout class figure, or what was once known as a Scout class figure. And then here he is next to Voyager Sea Spray again. And as you can see, he's actually longer than Sea Spray is tall, which is actually quite impressive for the size. This is basically a Scout class figure, and it extends to the point that it is longer than most Voyager class toys, especially the older Voyager class toys like this guy. This guy's from 2010. So, yeah, he's actually very well, he has, I can't talk today. He has a pretty good size to him, especially for considering, the transformation and everything. But with all that being said, that has been my review of the Dungeons and Dragons Dicelings figure for the Rakor dragon. From everything I can tell, him and the red dragon are pretty much the same mold overall. I think the only difference is that the actual detailing and everything like that has been changed, and the color obviously. But yeah, I highly recommend these guys, especially if you're like into D&D and Transformers. If you're into just D&D, you probably won't find any real use for this guy. But like if you're a fan of both, I highly recommend getting this, because this does fill a very particular niche that I think a lot of people would actually like. But with all that being said, I'm going to end the review here. I will see you guys some other time.